What is up, Baltimore Ravens fans? It's your old friend IndyCar Tim here with the Baltimore Ravens Daily Blitz right here on FanStream Sports. You can find us at fanstreamsports.com, the FanStream Sports mobile app, our YouTube channel, and anywhere you get your podcasts. The 2025 NFL schedule release Wednesday party happened. Today is Thursday. We're a day removed from that because I needed some time to sort of digest all this and get settled in with what I'm looking at here. And we're not going to do any predictions for you today. Look, it's way too early for that. It's fun, but it's kind of unnecessary. We'll let other people do that for you and entertain you that way. We will, however, get into some storylines here for you and maybe break down what it all means. And we can give you kind of an idea of how we feel about it here at FanStream Sports as Lamar Jackson will make another run towards what we hope will be a Super Bowl there in Baltimore. But look, every time we have the schedule release and every time we kind of break it down, if you go game by game, it doesn't mean anything because so many things will change between now and the start of the season. We've got all the off-season activities. We've got training camp. We've got mini camps. We've got the preseason. We've got another stretch of free agency to go and things like that. So it really doesn't mean anything, but at least we can break down what we do know and the stuff that does matter because now we know dates. We know how teams performed last year. Sometimes they make them pay attention to things like that, but even that doesn't mean anything. For instance, the Ravens have the 9th hardest schedule in the league this year. What does that mean? Well, they based that on last season's finishes, right? So I don't know if they break it down here for the Ravens. So they say the strength of schedule. That means for all of the Ravens' opponents that they'll play this year, last year, all of those opponents combined had a .533 winning percentage. So that's how they say, well, how many of those teams that were good last year are going to suck this year? How many of those teams that sucked last year are going to be good this year? It all doesn't mean anything. It's all speculation, but it's fun to talk about in this part of the NFL calendar where we really have nothing else to talk about, right? The draft's done. Undrafted free agents are pretty much in. We just finished rookie minicamp, so we'll have some fun with this for you guys. But the biggest question for everyone is, will Lamar Jackson make that elusive Super Bowl run? And that will hover over the Ravens all season long because that, again, is the ultimate goal for everyone in and around Baltimore, unless you're in D.C. If you're in D.C., then my apologies. You can't win. But this early, all we can do is look at the schedule, the way it breaks out. And we've got the season opener against the Buffalo Bills. So right out of the gate, we've got a test. We know the Bills are good. The Bills have been good. Of course, the Bills ended our season last year, correct? Right, in the postseason? So we'll have that matchup for you in week 1. You have a week 4 game against the Chiefs, who ended the Ravens' 2023 season. So I don't know if the schedule makers did that on purpose, but it certainly plays out that way with a couple of potent AFC opponents for you. The Ravens are then scheduled for 4 primetime games next year, including a rare Monday Night Football game in Baltimore against the Lions in week 3. Since John Harbaugh became the coach in 2008, Baltimore has only had 5 Monday Night Football games, tied with Houston and Jacksonville for the fewest over that 16 years. Why? I have no idea. Why does the NFL hate Baltimore? I don't know. The Ravens president, Sashi Brown, talked to the league about not playing on Christmas after 2 straight seasons of playing a road game on December 25th. So instead, Baltimore will host the Bengals on Thanksgiving. The last time the Ravens played on Thanksgiving was 2013. That, of course, will be remembered for Mike Tomlin veering too far away from the sideline and slowing down Jacoby Jones, which turned in a would-be kickoff return for a touchdown, into one of the NFL's most controversial plays. It was funny to watch, for sure. So let's run down your 2025 regular season schedule. Again, I'll blow through this because, of course, you guys can look that up anywhere. You don't need me to tell you what it is, and then we'll kind of break it down for you. But, of course, week 1 at the Bills, it's a Sunday Night Football game. Week 2, home against Cleveland. Week 3 at Detroit on Monday Night Football. Week 4 at Kansas City. Week 5 at home against Houston. Week 6 at home against the Rams before you enter your bye in week 7, and I think that is a perfect time to have a bye heading into the season. Week 8 after the bye, at home against Chicago. Week 9 at Miami. Week 10, the Minnesota Vikings. And then, of course, you head to Cleveland in week 11. You are at at home against the Jets in week 12. Week 13 at home against Cincinnati on a Thursday night football matchup game situation. Week 14 at home against Pittsburgh. Week 15 at Cincinnati. Week 16 against the Patriots at home. Week 17 at the Packers. And then week 18 at the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you finish with 3 of your final 4 games of the season all on the road. So we certainly hope that the Ravens have wrapped up some playoff situations. And we hope that the Week 14 game at Cincinnati and or the Week 18 game at Pittsburgh has no playoff implications. Hopefully the Ravens will have wrapped up the North by then. Again, .533 winning percentage for all of the opponents combined from last year. It is the 9th hardest, as we mentioned, the 9th hardest schedule in the league. Most of all the projections I've seen on the betting sites, the over and under, were right around 11.5, 10.5 wins. I might take the over 11.5 if you're doing that. I see some easy matchups. You're in year 2 with Derrick Henry, who just signed a humongous contract extension. And I would take the over 11.5. Even if it's 12, you win, right? So what's our biggest takeaway from all of this? Well, the biggest takeaway that I've got here for you is that there is no easy stretch throughout this entire 25 schedule. It is a gauntlet. The Ravens open the season by playing 5 2024 postseason teams in the first 6 weeks. That includes week 4 at Kansas City, where the Ravens haven't won since their 2012 Super Bowl season. In the middle of the calendar, Baltimore plays 3 consecutive weeks on the road, starting with a Thursday night game in Miami in week 9. In their previous 6 years, the Ravens have had to go on the road for 3 straight games just one time. That was back in 2023. Then, of course, Baltimore closes out the season with 3 of 4 games on the road, as we mentioned, culminating in road trips to Green Bay and Pittsburgh. This will mark the first time that Baltimore ends the season with back-to-back road games since 2016. It's been a while. What is the date that you should circle on your calendar? Get your markers out if you guys still have. Do you guys still have calendars on the wall? Or do you do everything digital? I still have calendars on the wall in my house, mainly to benefit my idiot kids. I also text them dates and stuff, but I don't know that they ever pay attention to that. I have a calendar on the wall. I have one in my office. We have one in the kitchen for me and the kids to pay attention to. But if you've got a calendar on the wall, let's go ahead and get the magic marker out, the permanent marker or a crayon, whatever it is that you have laying around, and circle September 28th. That is, again, at the Chiefs. Look, if the Ravens want to reach the Super Bowl for the first time in 13 years, we know that they have to overcome a huge mental hurdle by winning at Arrowhead Stadium. It's been the site of 6 of the past 7 AFC Championship games. The only one that wasn't there, of course, was at M&T, right? But the Chiefs won that one. After Baltimore's 27-20 loss at Arrowhead last season, I can't remember who it was. A reporter mentioned how Lamar Jackson, how he kind of described the Chiefs as his team's kryptonite years prior to that. And, of course, Jackson snapped back, "Ain't my kryptonite." Well, you know what? Then let's show it, Lamar. Let's prove that to be the case. But that'll be an important date for you guys to watch. One of the key stretches, I think maybe the most key stretch for the Baltimore Ravens in 2025 will be the first 4 games. It's probably the most challenging start that Baltimore has had to a season in their existence. You're going to have showdowns with Super Bowl contenders in September. The Bills, the Lions, Chiefs. Those teams all won their divisions last season. They combined for a 43-8 record. But, I'm still not going to assume that the Ravens are going to be in an early hole based on that. I think the Ravens traditionally start pretty strong, especially under Harbaugh. So their 37-20 September mark under Harbaugh is the second best mark in the NFL, only behind the Packers, who are 38-20-1 in opening the month. So, again, we'll be paying attention to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens maybe three-peating for the AFC North. That's something that has never been done before since the AFC North division started. In 2002 is when they did all that, the realigning, I believe. So we'll be paying attention to that. If you want a bold prediction from me on that, I will say yes. Yes, I think that Jackson and the Ravens can three-peat the AFC North. I don't see that being an issue. Of course, barring injuries. Again, it's super early. That's why we don't do these kind of things, predicting. But I'm writing that in pencil on my calendar. We'll do more bold predictions and more accurate predictions, I believe, as we get closer to the start of the season. After the 53-man rosters are cut down, we know who we're dealing with. We know who's going to be at least healthy entering the season. And again, for the Ravens, that 4-game stretch to start the year will tell the entire story, possibly, of the season as we go. So that's all I've got for you guys. Again, make sure you all reach out. Tell me what your thoughts are. The FanStream Sports Studio text line, 214-937-0569. That's open 24/7. Just tell me your name and tell me where you're texting from. Could be Baltimore, could be the DMV, could be Maryland, could be the world. I don't care. Just make sure you tell me who you are and where you're from before you tell me what your thought is, so we can identify you and make you part of the show next time we do this thing. I am Indy Car Tim. We will be back shortly with some more off-season projections, some AFC North news, everything around the NFL right here on the Baltimore Ravens Daily Blitz on FanStream Sports, FanStreamSports.com, and the mobile app. Appreciate everybody tuning in today. Until next time, boys and girls, we'll see you.